Hola guys and girls and welcome to the GBA Week 4 match. We are up against the Melbourne Rotoms, coached by none other than CybertronVGC. We are both currently 3-0 in our record, so this is a very nice match in that regard to find out who is the better undefeated team so far. Of course, there's currently Randy as well, who is undefeated, so we still have to beat him potentially. I actually don't know if I face him in the schedule, but either way, then we do that in the playoffs. But this is the first time we face an opponent who is actually doing very good in the league so far as well. All the opponents we had before didn't do too hot, or turned out to not be doing too hot, since obviously in the week 1 we didn't do any records. So yeah, this is not only nice to find out who can keep the undefeated record after this week, but of course it's cool as well to prove ourselves with an opponent who's currently doing better in the league. Not want to trash talk any people I've faced before. There are many factors why they lost and did not lose games. You can judge for yourselves by watching their matches. But yeah, that's enough. For the history of this match, this is not a divisional matchup, and this is not a conferential matchup. This is like the least important in that regard. But like similar to week 1, where we had the same kind of match, this is a mental one, mentally pretty important. So actually record-wise, not that big, since if we lose here, we still have a very nice shot at making playoffs. But either way, that's for the history of this match. Now, going into the match itself, and first of all, of course, going into the shoutouts for this match. These go, of course, once again to GoldoaDragon for recording this match, and NeonXero for jetting this team for me. Their links will be in the description. They will probably be repeatedly in the description throughout the season. Check them out. Goldoa is a coach, NeonXero is a cool guy. They both have Twitter and YouTube. Check the links out in the description. But now going into team preview itself, if you want to know more about my team, I did upload a team builder yesterday. There you can check out why I brought these sets, what my plan is, what I expect from him, and all this good stuff. But for all which don't have time for that, very quick overview. We have first of all Focus Sash, Lead Lightning Rock Dusk, Assault Execute on Black, Rock Polish Yachi Berry Landorus, Fizzy Defensive Rocky Helmet Tangrowth, Choice Scarf Jirachi, and Guts Flame Orb Conkeldurr. Looking at opponent's team, he brought Mega Lopunny, Mamoswine, Katana, Rayquaza, Xurkitree, and Aegislash, and there's honestly no real surprise there. These are 6 mons Aaron loves, and he brought to a lot of matches so far, if not all of them, and yeah, no real surprise there. That of course means we did prepare for what we are seeing here, but on the other hand, that means these are the mons which we were scared of the most. So it's always like a trade-off. To see like something surprise you, at first you think, okay, I did not prep for that, scary, but on the other hand, I mean, I did not prep for that since it's not that scary with my team. But in this scenario, no real surprises. I expect all these 6 mons. The scariest mon, of course, by far, being the Rayquaza, because, like I already mentioned, Team Builder, I don't have switches to that. It just is way too strong and has way too much coverage. I need to offensively check it, because defensively, it's just not gonna work out. It's maybe gonna work out for 1 turn, but then the turn after, he could just sweep my team. So, yeah. That's the whole thing. Then, looking at Team Mega Lopunny, of course, being Mega, Mamoswine probably gonna be Rocks, Aegislash probably gonna spit Def, I wanna say, at least defensive for, because like the best switch in Here and Black and stuff like, and in my Deoxys. And in Xurkitree, Katana, I guess one of them is gonna be Choice Scarf, the other one is gonna be Z, but I can't really tell yet who is gonna who, since both make sense with my team. But yeah. That's basically all. Like I said, I have a lead Lightning Rock. I want to get my rocks up. The only thing which would really prevent that would be the Lopunny, because of Fake Out. In which case I can just switch out my Tangrowth, get some Rocky Helmet chip already. So I still want to lead with Lightning Rock, even though you rock the Lopunny. And let's see what happens. So I can get my rocks up, which actually guarantees to bring the Rayquaza in range from Ice Punch from my Jirachi, which is a very important calc. I had to calc a lot and see how I can deal with that. Sadly, it couldn't be Adamant, because then I'm not fast enough for Rayquaza anymore. But yeah, he ends up leading with Mega Lopunny, so as mentioned, we don't want ours half broken through a Fake Out or something like that, and other than that, he of course is fast and could just go for a Jump Kick after that. So we hard switch into Spätzle, our Tangrowth, our physically defensive Rocky Helmet Mon, which is there to deal with his Lopunny, and on the other hand with his Katana as well. He turns out to be staying in, so we can see, does he go for Fake Out, doesn't predict the Focus Sash variant, and it seems he does, since he does go straight for the Fake Out, which of course nice, because we take very little, and he takes a little bit of chip with the Rocky Helmet, and right here I do predict him to switch out. I don't think Lopunny wants to stay in with the Tangrowth, and I do go for Knockoff, just to get rid of an item or scout what mon could potentially be Z. He hard switches into Mamoswine, we do get the Knockoff off, and we end up knocking off a Life Orb, which is awesome, because that means we can take any hit from the swing, can go straight for a Giga Drain, And he just goes for Rock, so that means we get a lot of damage on this Mamoswine and basically drain ourselves back to full health. Sadly, it will not OHKO the Mamoswine since Giga Drain itself is a pretty weak move with only 75 base power. And Mamoswine is thick as heck, but now we can guarantee take another Ice Curse, of course, barring a flinch, and he actually misses, so that's pretty big, because depending if he was Jolly, he was doing like 48 to 55, and if he's Adamant, he was like doing 50 to 60. So a lot of damage prevented on my capacity right here. Of course, I could Regenerator once out, but yeah, it would have... We'd never know how the match would turn out with this extra damage. And of course, he had an additional chance to flinch. He does go into Rayquaza right here. I don't want to stay in. I can't really touch this thing. I don't have HBIs. So I do want to switch into something which I'm willing to sack, but on the other hand, does not allow him to go for a second Drain Dance, because as you can see right here, he does go for the first one. So, and I decided to go into my Lycanroc because the Rayquaza is already in. It's basically too late to get up rocks. The sash is broken since rocks are up. I don't have hazard removal. So in the end, I thought this is the least expendable mon. And of course, due to having Stone Edge, this thing scares the Rayquaza to go for a second Dragon Dance, which is what we definitely have to prevent. Doggo, of course, sadly goes down to the EQ, and we can hard switch into our Jirachi. It is pretty obvious right now that he has Sugar Berry or the Choice Scarf, because he just shown the Earthquake, and yeah, we do stage for Ice Punch. We can play around with Rayquaza. He does stay in, and now we have to hope that we get the roll in our favor, and we do not. Just for wording, the roll was not necessarily in our favor, just I wanted the result in our favor. It depends on this investment, in which favor it was. So yeah. Sadly, we don't get it. Jirachi goes down, but at least this thing is now in range of our Conkeldurr with Mark Punch, which is at this point the only thing we have to outbeat this thing, or slash out-prioritize this thing. He, of course, could have Extreme Speed, but he sees the Mark Punch, of course, coming. Like I said, it's pretty obvious, but I couldn't allow to play around, because if I overpredict right here, I'd just lose the game to this Rayquaza. And he does switch into Aether Slash, and we get our Flame activated, and right here we can just go straight for the EQ, because this is not a touchy move. We can just go straight for the EQ. Even if he goes for King Shield, we don't get our drops, and because even in Shield form, an EQ does, like, depending on if he's physically or specially defensive, or maybe even offensive, does in a range from 60 to 80% versus this thing, so even in shield form. So yeah, he just withdraws on the Earthquake right here, and he doesn't really have a good switch in. At first I thought he would go into Rayquaza, but then it's Mark Punch range again. But he does switch into Lopunny, and this does not like this hit at all. This is Guts, Boosted, Max Attack, Adamant, Conkeldurr, Earthquake, which is sadly our stab, but it OHKOs the Lopunny, god damn it, just the Conkeldurr. I did not expect that. Like, I did expect a lot of damage on that, but I did not thought you would just straight, like, after a Run Rocky Helmet round, OHKO this Mega Lopunny. But Mega Lopunny goes down, because Conkeldurr is just way too strong, and he switches into Circuitry. The Dazzling Gleam sadly is pretty obvious right here, but my only real switch into this is the Kyurem. The good thing is, if he's Choice Scarf, of course, he will shoot KO with Dazzling Gleam and outspeed me. That gives me a chance to set up with Landorus, which is at this point looking like it could sweep versus his team. And if he's not Scarf, then of course outspeed him and I can go for a hit. He goes for Dazzling Gleam, I can tell from that he's max special attack, no surprise there. I just go straight for Ice Beam because I didn't want him to go into Rayquaza on the potential Earth Power. And he switches out, which basically tells me that he is most likely not Choice Scarf, or he thought that I'm Choice Scarf, which is unlikely because from the damage you would see that I'm Assault Blasted. Either way, he does switch into his Aegis Slash, so I should have just gone for Earth Power. But at this point, Kyurem Black is not really useful anymore, so I should just go straight for the Earth Power to get some more damage on this and bring this guaranteed in range for Earthquake from my Conkeldurr. We see that he's left over, so yeah, and he just stats chains, goes for an attack, and of course kills my Kyurem Black right here. Because at this amount of health and with rocks up, Kyurem Black is not really doing too much. Like I said, get damage with Aegis is probably the best thing you could do. It's outsped by Katana and dies. It's outsped by, not outsped by Circuitry, but it dies to Circuitry, so it's not switching anymore. And of course, I'm outsped by Rayquaza and die. So the only best thing I could really do is like get damage on each slash. So I decided to do just that, and I do go to Mr. Man, and now I go to the calc because I was thinking, okay, we have seen Flash Cannon. I can't really tell since my Kyurem was so low if he's like how invested he is in special attack. And in the end, I was thinking, like, do a Rock Polish right here to basically win the game. If I Rock Polish here, I outspeed everything and I KO everything. But after calculating a little bit, since I'm minus Bedef, since I'm mixed Landorus, Flash Cannon, if he's max special attack modest, would actually bring me in range from Extreme Speed from Rayquaza. So that's not what I want to do, so just go straight for the EF power. I can still potentially Rock Polish on something else, like the Circuitry. Especially if it turns up to be Choice Scarf and is locked into an electric move. But either way, he does switch out into Rayquaza, and of course that means for me, I'm faster than him. And he's shown that he's not Scarf, so that means he's going for Extreme Speed, so I don't want to take the damage on Mr. Man right here, because if I'm healthy I can still set up on things, due to the Yachi Barrier if he goes for Ice Move. So I do this hard switch into my Tangrowth right here, predicting the Extreme Speed, having the Rocky Helmet and picking this thing off, and exactly that happens. Like I said, otherwise there would have been no reason. But that many things already. Okay, to be fair, he doesn't know yet that I'm not, if I'm Choice Scarfed or not. I only shown Earth Power and a hard switch out. So, but if it would have been Choice Scarf Katana, he could have switched in that there. But either way, he does go Circuitry. And this turn, I feel like it's GG because I can just sack my Conkeldurr right here to like a Z move or another move, go into Landorus, click Earth Power, either kill this or Katana. If I kill Katana, Landorus just wins with clicking Earth Power again. If I kill this, my Tangrowth beats the Katana. In my mind, it's already GG right here. He does go for a Z move, but I'm fine with, like, my Conkeldurr can die right here, but it's Z Hypnosis, and that means he gets a speed boost, and that changes a lot right now. Thankfully, I am not put to sleep since I'm already burned, so I can go for a Mach Punch right here, and he can't, like, set up more if he has more options, like Tail Glow, something like that. But, of course, my Conkeldurr goes down, and we are looking in the face of a +1/+1 circuitry right now, and now I have troubles, because Tangrowth can't deal with this thing. Tangrowth has 2-hit KO'd, and I need Tangrowth still if there's a Choice Scarf Katana. So my only hope is going into Mr. Man, and one of two things happens. He's scared of Choice Scarf, and for some reason switches out. If he goes for HP Ice, I die right here. Because since he's at +1, even the Yashi Berry won't save me. The only hope is that Dazzling Gleam maybe is the best thing he has to hit me, and then, depending on his investment, it's a roll to kill me at this point. It's always a roll, but if he's modest, max special attack is in his favor. If he's timid, max special attack is in my favor to live. So that's basically the only hope I have at this point to win this game. That he doesn't have HPIs and he goes for Dazzling Gleam and get the roll in my favor. And I can go for the Rock Polish right here because if I go for Rock Polish, I outspeed counter hit the Katana and I can OHKO both of these things. So right now, it's the time to prove. Let's click this play button and see. Can we live the Dazzling Gleam or does he have HPIs and just wins the game right here? We see what he goes for. He goes for Hypnosis actually and misses and we get a free Rock Polish off. And this, now it's definitely GG. Now the game is over. We just sweep with Mr. Man since he's fast on everything and just Earth Powers everything. We get the 40% chance in our favor with Hypnosis missing there, and due to that, win the game. I talked with Aaron before. He didn't have HPIs. He had Tail Glow, Dazzling Gleam, Thunderbolt, and the Hypnosis. And the reason why he didn't go for Dazzling Gleam is he didn't know that I was minus with death, because obviously I didn't show knockoff yet, he didn't know I was mixed, and if I'm not minus with death, I guaranteed live the Dazzling Gleam every time. So Hypnosis was, in his mind, the best play, which I agree with, of course. I didn't really think about that, I didn't show yet that I'm not mixed and potentially not minus with death. But that was a very scary game. In the end game, I was feeling very comfortable, like I already said in my narration. I thought I had this game on lock, but then he showed me the plus speed boosting circuitry, which turned it all around basically. And if you would have had HPIs there, it was GG since it killed my Landorus, and then it would have killed my Tangrowth since it would have been at +2. And yeah, very scary game. Like in the end, I basically only won since he missed this Hypnosis. So it was a 60-40 chance, and the lower 40 chance in my favor did end up happening. I mean, I guess there was a chance, additional chance after that I could get, like, I would be asleep first. And then the turn after he would, the turn after he said he would go for Tail Glow to bring me guaranteed range of Dazzling Gleam, since he still didn't know that I'm to death, and I guess I had a chance to wake up there. So it's maybe a little bit higher than 40, but it's definitely not higher than 50. So in the end, I did get a bit lucky right here to win this game, which of course not what we want to hear and say after a match, especially not after such a good one. It was a very close one for sure. The Rayquaza living was very annoying for me, but like, we talked after, it was a roll in his favor to live there, so not too much of a problem there. And yeah, the circuitry turning out to be way more scary than I figured. After I switched out versus my Kyurem, I was feeling very good since it was not Scarf, and I think Scarf circuitry at this point was the most scary thing he could have versus me. Since my Jirachi went down, and that means I only Landorus, Tangrowth, and Conkeldurr left, which all don't really take HPIs too well. So I was scared of an HPI sweep from that at that point. But either way, that is the game. We do manage to win 2-0 versus the Melbourne Rotoms, going 4-0 into our Week 5 match, and of course knocking down Aaron to 3-1. He still played a very good game. Like I said, in 60% of the scenarios, maybe a little less because of waking up, but let's say 60% of the scenarios he would have won this game. And sadly, in the 40% chances, I would have won this game, which ended up happening. So yeah, not too much to say about that. It's like literally math, and the lower chance happened. So Aaron played very well. He put himself into the position to play most of the times the game. Sadly, the games decided otherwise, and we ended up winning. But either way, I hope you still enjoyed this match. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. Hit up my opponent for his side, of course, and hit up all the guys I mentioned in the beginning. But that is all from me. I hope you enjoy. I will see you another time. Ciao.